Where are we? As Mike said, my name is Tammy Beach. I am the head of our dealer channel for HP. I do wear many hats though. I think it's important to let you know that I am a 25-year employee. I have the necklace on to prove it. The commemorative necklace that they give you for 25 years. I am a wife of almost 31 years. I am a mother of 3 gorgeous, capable, brilliant daughters who are almost all out of the house at this point. And I'm also an educator. So when I am not at HP, I'm at Boise State University teaching a class in marketing. So, thank you. One of my favorite things to do. So I'll tell you though, they're a lot more intimidating to talk to, I think. I'll warn you there. But also why I have the flip chart and the marker, because no self-respecting professor goes anywhere without them. So thank you, Mary, for getting this set up for me. And I will warn you that I will get academic on you, that I will be sharing some of the concepts that I share with my class as part of this session. Hopefully they will spark some ideas and inspire and motivate some action here. I will also warn you that I'll be giving a quiz, and that I will chastise anybody who tries to leave early, come late, or fall asleep. So don't do any of those things. All right, so we took a great walk down memory lane this morning. I loved that presentation. The nostalgia, the energy, the authentic conversation that Tony had with us about times past was refreshing and felt so good, because we are surrounded by information and content about how fast things are changing. So I'm going to do more of that to you. And I'm going to start us off here by sharing a video with you about what the future may look like. I want you to pay particular attention to the video in a couple of ways. I want you to think about the things that you hear, the stats that you see, the way that it makes you feel. What are the things that make you sit back in your chair? What are the things that make you go, aha? And note to self, when a professor asks you to pay attention to something, there will be a quiz on it later. So I'm going to go ahead and start.
Over the next 15 years, we will experience more change than in all of human history to date. By 2030, 8.5 billion people will walk the earth. They will be drawn to cities in massive numbers for the promise of a better life. Cities will become bigger, and we will have more of them. Bigger cities will spur major economic growth, bringing billions of new consumers into the world economy, most of them in emerging markets. Dense city populations will drive new business models, people choosing to share resources instead of owning them, eager for services that save them time and effort. But such rapid urbanization will take a toll on the environment, straining our natural resources and infrastructure. Simultaneously, changing demographics will dramatically shift the tapestry of our society. Fertility rates are declining and life expectancy is increasing, leading to an older population and a shrinking and aging workforce, putting increased pressure on healthcare, retirement, and government services. But every cloud has a silver lining. An older working population will have greater purchasing power than their younger counterparts, creating new untapped opportunities for brands in a world that is becoming both hyper-global and hyper-local. A world powered by the internet, connecting everyone and everything, everywhere, enabling the growth of a vast digital marketplace and digital platforms that are changing the competitive landscape, with startups scaling faster than ever before and market disruption becoming the new norm, forcing companies around the globe to constantly reinvent themselves to stay competitive. As market sectors change, so does technology. The pace and breadth of innovation continues to accelerate. Technology components are constantly maturing and becoming more accessible, forming the building blocks for new breakthroughs to emerge accelerating us forward. How will we keep up in the midst of a constantly changing world? We can look to these major socioeconomic, demographic, and technological forces, which HP calls megatrends, to help guide us. We might not be able to know the future, but megatrends can be a beacon for where the world is heading, enabling companies like HP to shape the future and chart our own course. The opportunity is ours.
All right, okay, so here comes the audience, the class participation here. How'd that make you feel? Anybody scared? Did it frighten anybody? Okay, it did, a few. Did it inspire anyone? Okay, more good, more from that were inspired. Did anybody think this is not relevant to me? Why am I watching this? Come on. Some brave souls, I'll just pick on you about it later. I think that it's hard sometimes to think about these things that are happening in the future because they seem so far in the future. But one of the things that struck me about this video, and the first sentence, over the next 15 years, we will experience more change than in all of human history to date. Sit with that for a minute. In our lifetimes, we will see so much change. It will be unimaginable, incomprehensible. The pace of change is so fast right now, it's hard for us to even comprehend the potential, let alone adapt to it and adopt it before the next thing comes. So I think I would say that number one is why I called this presentation Roll with the Changes, partially because I'm an REO Speedwagon fan. Love that song. And partially because, and somebody said it on this stage earlier today, there is no pause button. We are not stopping the change. If you thought the last 3 years were tumultuous, if you thought there was a lot of change to adapt to in the past several years, you haven't seen anything yet. So we all need to buckle up. We all need to prepare and to embrace and figure out tangible ways and at least first steps into how we embrace ourselves, how we embrace the data, the analytics, the tools, the technology innovation that's going on out there for ourselves and for our employees, our businesses, and our customers. So one of the trends that, one of the mega trends that we follow that was in that video was accelerated innovation. So this is the one that I want to talk about a little bit more because this is the one that impacts our lives and our businesses the most. So lots of innovation going on, lots of things happening across the landscape of technology. A few things here that, and I'm super interested, by the way, in metaverse, virtual reality, in AI, artificial intelligence. I'll talk about some of these things later and some of the really cool and business and commercial use cases that I'm seeing in the AI space. I'll hold that till later. But just to say here, first of all, 40% increase in our productivity in the next decade. We all like that. We all like that idea. We all like the idea of being much more productive. That will translate into almost $16 trillion into our global economy over the same time frame in the next decade. So super encouraging ideas around making our jobs, our workforce more productive and adding so much more to our economy. We often talk about how it will displace jobs, and 1 in 3 jobs will be displaced in the next decade by software, by robots, by other things. But the good news is that there are a lot of predictions about the new jobs that will be created. And while this is 375 million new jobs created by accelerated innovations happening in the technology space, and probably some of you have read that, okay, that's great, but 800 million are going to be gone. I think this is a really, really conservative estimate of the number of new jobs that will be created and new opportunities and new value that we can offer to our customers. All right? So these things and other things that are happening along the technology landscape in terms of innovation are creating some really strange market dynamics that are new to us, but are things that we need to understand and adopt. So some of the things that I've been following for some time now since my job back, I did a job several years ago in our consumer software business. I'll talk a little bit more about that. But one of the things that we should recognize as one of the most disruptive technologies in our marketplace today is this idea of digital platforms. These are digital-first businesses. These are businesses that are built on a technology platform that brings users and providers together to gain value from each other. That has phenomenal networking effects. That has a number of different ways to be monetized. So these types of businesses are growing faster than any of our traditional, more linear types of businesses. These are the businesses like Facebook and Amazon and Uber and Airbnb. If you take those companies out of the S&P 500, and by the way, I don't know, I would say the first one really hit the market in just 2010 with the Apple App Store that brought app developers and users of those tools into an environment or onto a platform where they can exchange value from each other. That was only 2010. The Amazons, the Facebooks, the Netflix, the Airbnb, the VRBOs, all of these really started accelerating about 2015. So we're not really talking about that long ago. So you can imagine why. You can see how the change is happening so quickly. And what they're doing is they are separating from the pack in an exponential way. If you look at the trend line of the S&P 500 and you look at the trend line of these platform businesses, you will see about 2015 they start to break away. I think one of the stats on that video was within this decade, what was it, 75% of the companies in the S&P 500 will be replaced by platform businesses. It's astonishing, right? Is this our business model? No. Should it be our business model? Maybe. But if we don't know about it, it's likely going to come in and disrupt us if we don't do it first. Continuous connection. This idea that we're connected 24/7. Look at your device health metrics. Does anybody avoid looking at their device health metrics? How long have you been? Do you avoid it? I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Stop telling me how long I've been on this device, right? 24/7. Maybe not people in this room, certainly people that we know, most of my kids on 24/7. But it's not just people that are connected. It's people, it's places, it's things that are connected. Allowing us to track activity and data and measure things anywhere, anytime, and contributing to this massive treasure trove of data that is out there. And new ways to analyze that data and unprecedented insights into customer behaviors. Some of the things that we can do today to understand customer behaviors is jaw-dropping. I'll give you one example. My son-in-law works for a company called iSpot TV. He's a coder, a developer. And what they do is they create dashboards and analytics for brands to track conversions. If I'm Budweiser and I put an ad on the Super Bowl and I spend $25 million to do it, the old way of tracking it would have told me how many eyeballs saw it, right? That's not a really good, effective metric of your advertising spend, especially when you're spending millions and millions of dollars. What my son-in-law's company does is track when that commercial hits the airwaves, who sees it, what the sentiment is out on all the social media about it, and can actually track cell phone data of purchases. If you saw it, and then we tracked you going to the store, we can determine whether or not you bought a case of Bud Light or Budweiser or whatever your flavor is based on seeing that advertisement. That's an unprecedented level of knowledge about the spend that you have in a marketing space. Also, kind of creepy, I'll admit. When he's telling me about it, I'm like, "Ugh." And in fact, how many of you like to have personalized experiences? Right? How many of you, so I got really mad at one point and I said I'm turning it all off because, not because I was getting listened to, but because I didn't want to give my data away for free. And one day, some bright person will figure out how to monetize our data so that we can make money on the data that we provide companies that's generating them billions of dollars. But I got mad, so I turned it off for 24 hours. And after 24 hours, I didn't want it anymore because guess what? My personalized news feed was no longer there. The promotions that I got about the dried carrot sticks that I like to eat, right? Or the weird palmini pasta substitute, right? That is super hard to find, but I get alerts when it's available. I like those things. I like to stand in my kitchen and say, I could really use a new rug here, and then all of a sudden have many options. Those are the kinds of data crunching that are going on behind the scenes, that people are listening and people are responding and analytics are predicting. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But all of this stuff has led to this expectation from our customers that they get more from us. They know we know about them. They know we know what's that Friends Club. They know we know, I know, they know. I don't know what it is, anybody? But it's not, there's no secrets out there. We all know that our information is out there. Again, if we can monetize it, that would be great. But since we can't, let's at least extract the value that it gives to us, right? Okay, so continuous, so customer outcomes. So all of these things are a lot of change, a lot of things to think about, and how do we deal with these things? Actually, whoops. Oh, crap. I can't even run the technology here. I'm going to stay right here for a minute. I want to give you some tangible examples of some techniques that I've learned to deal with some of these changes. One of those I teach in my class, and it's called shift thinking. Does anybody know about shift thinking? We saw an excellent example of it this morning with the bicycle. That is shift thinking. If you Google this, this will say something like a systematic process to deliver value in a digital age, okay? And by the way, if you Google it, you will also find somebody who has trademarked it, damn them, because I was doing it a long time ago, trademarked it and created a consulting company for it. So if you are really looking for how do you change your thought processes before you start investing a lot of money in your digital transformation, you might check them out. One of the ways that I do this in my class is, I'm going to show you an example of how I do this shift thinking in my class, and then I'll show you an example of how I did it when I was running the consumer software business that I had. Okay, so 4 Ps. What are the 4 Ps?
People, productivity.
Okay, the marketing 4 Ps, guys. Okay, all right, okay. Rise, product, price, place, promotion. Okay, all right, we're all back in college today. The 4 Ps. The 4 Ps have been around since, I don't know, mid-1900s. I mean, we've all been around since that long. So, but they've held true. They have lived a long life. What I try to do with my class is not only introduce them to these concepts, but shift their thinking, shift their mindset. Anybody hear about the 4 Cs? No? Nobody 4 Cs? Anybody? Okay. All right. Instead of product, what do we got? Customer. Hint. Everybody starts with a C. Okay. When you make the paradigm shift between product and customer, you start thinking about who is my customer? What problems do they have? What capabilities do I have to solve that problem? Your product or service doesn't come until you understand your customer, right? So understanding and intimately understanding to some of the level of behaviors that I'm talking about that the data and the analytics will give to you will help you to design a better product and service. Instead of price, what do we think about?
Cost.
Cost. Exactly. Because cost implies I'm going to pay something. There's a financial transaction that's going to go on. But we all know there's a lot more cost associated with an engagement with us than just the price of what you're charging them. There's the cost of effort, there's the cost of change, there's the opportunity costs. And if you're only thinking about price and you're not thinking about these things, you're limiting yourself, and then it becomes a price discussion. But if you have optimized for all of the things around that I just said, making it super easy to access, making it super easy to purchase, making it super clear what the value proposition is, all of those are costs associated with the purchase process, not a price. Place. I love this one because I also have some career history in supply chain and lots of work with the channel. When I think about place, I think about a box. I think about a physical location on a shelf in a warehouse that my product needs to go. That's kind of a limiting view of the world. What else would I call place? Convenience. All right, somebody else has studied this. Yay. Okay. Convenience. When I think about convenience, now I'm thinking about the entire purchasing process. Awareness, preference, choice, purchase, use, reuse, return, the entire consumer behavior life cycle, and how convenient am I making it? How easily is my information available? How easy am I to purchase from? Those are the things that come to mind, not a box, not a shelf, not a warehouse. Okay? Mind shift, shift thinking. And promotion?
Communication.
Yes, very good. All right, a student out here in front, communications. Promotion to me, and students really fall into this trap, promotion's a coupon. It's a loyalty program, right? It's a discount. Who really wants to be focused on that? Communication implies more of a two-way conversation, a dialogue that is going on between you and your customers. That not, 10 minutes left? Holy crap, I gotta get moving. All right, so, you guys got this example. All right, did I get my full 30 minutes because we started late? No. All right, okay, so, and I can't figure out the slides. Okay, here we go. All right, this is how I did this with my team when I was leading the future product marketing team for our HP Smart App. I don't know if there's a lot of users out there. It has primarily been a consumer product. It is moving into a space because of the vision we created that will soon be a commercial application as well. But we did this shift thinking. We went from I know devices to I know customers, from I know pages to I know outcomes, from I'm thinking about ownership to I'm thinking about access, and from the idea that I have to go to print, that print actually comes to me in meaningful ways. All right, this conversation turned into this. So, and my point is here, shift thinking can change the world, and so can napkins, right? This is my napkin drawing at an airport bar. It might have been the shift thinking, or it might have been the wine, I don't know. I'm not even gonna try and explain this. That turned into this, the more professional version. Let me just walk you through this a little bit. This became the vision for our Smart App. This became our roadmap. And what this was shifting our mental model of how we saw our business from A, which was device and person, and there was an app that connected the device and the person for the user, to this ecosystem, this platform idea, where we took our app and we made it two-sided, meaning that one side is where our customers came in, and oh, by the way, since we're thinking about customer, not product, we're thinking about all the multiple touch points that they might come into our platform. That might be their phone, that might be their mobile device, or their tablet, that might be their laptop, that might be a voice device sitting at their house. And when you're doing consumer software, when you're doing any kind of software development, operating system is important. So we really had to recognize that all of our customers might be using those types of technologies. They're going to enter this platform through a membership or some sort of subscription model. They're going to access their content. They're going to access genuine content from other providers, or original content from other providers. They're going to be able to access software and apps to complete tasks and workflows that deliver them the outcomes that they're looking for. And under all of this, is the other side of the platform where the developers, the providers, the service delivery partners, the connected network of devices to print anything from a sticker to a textile to something in 3D can plug in. So these were the ideas that we had in the path that we started on with Smart App. I've left that job. It continues to move forward in the same way. So a more compelling way for us to think about it, way more opportunities to serve customers, and also way more opportunities to monetize. Never gonna get this right. Okay. Clearly, I think that you cannot change what you think or what you do until you change what you think. So, how are some of the ways that you do that? Again, another concept that I teach in my class is around digital intelligence. And the definition is the amplification of human wisdom. Maybe, again, another shift in terminology, it's not digital transformation, it's amplification of human wisdom. And who doesn't want that? And it also seems less intimidating because we think about these big, heavy systems that have to be exchanged and changed. It doesn't have to start that way. There are baby steps that you can take. The first thing, adopt a digital mindset. Explore the tools, test the tools. Look at technology as a means to serve customer problems, to cut expenses, to create efficiencies in your business. Really embrace the idea of technology, but there is a lot out there, so you have to embrace the right things. Foster a digital culture. Do your teams have the tools that they need? Do your teams have the training and education that they need? Do your teams have the reskilling that they need to be successful? Do your HR departments hire in a way that will recruit? Okay. Harness the power of data. In your heart of hearts, you have to believe that the heart of amplifying human intelligence is the data. I'll go through some of that in a minute, and then surface the promising opportunities that you find as you test and learn. Okay, so also, I cannot leave this stage without talking about Amplify. So here I go. All right, for partners that are already partners of HP, you're well aware of Amplify. For partners who are not part of HP, this is our global partner program, and there are a lot of tools in this program to help partners to be more competitive in this new world. And that starts with our data and analytics platform. I know that this has been cumbersome, I know it has been uncomfortable, I know it has been operationally a strain for partners to participate in. But keep on the journey with us. On this platform, we collect 5 billion data points a week. That is not just from partners. That is also from really rich resources, third-party resources that help us to apply the predictive analytics to this that are important to you as business owners. Okay, that data comes in, that platform turns, it stirs up that data, and it spits it out in 3 ways. And those 3 ways, by the way, are not trademarked to Amplify. These data types are important for you to be aware of, whether you get the analytics from Amplify or anywhere else. Descriptive analytics that tell you about your performance, that allow you to track your benchmarking in your markets with your customers against your competitors. Predictive insights. Predictive insights add that element of prediction. Prediction about where your customers are in their buying journey and their propensity to purchase. And then prescriptive insights that allow you to have the recommendations ready to go to create tangible sales and marketing campaigns. So, again, it's a journey. The more accurate, for those of you that are reporting it, the more complete and the timeliness of the data that's submitted to us, the more competitive value that this will show to you. So many of us are still on the very start of this path, which is why you may not be seeing some of these benefits, but they are there for you to take advantage of. But who cares about data if we don't have questions? Everybody in this room should have these questions. What is the big picture of the environment that I'm working in? Which customers should I call next? And what should I tell them? So if you go through some of the data that the Amplify analytics platform is providing to our partners, we break it down, descriptive. What's happening in your market? What are the trends? What are the vertical industries that are performing the best? How am I competitively positioned? how am I selling into those vertical markets that are performing the best? And you get these really great data visualizations to help you instantly understand where your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are. Which customers should I call next? You might be asking yourself, which customer verticals and sizes am I under indexed? Am I being outpaced? Which customers and verticals am I beating the competition and I need to defend myself? Which of my customers are printing on an old fleet of devices? Which of my customers are searching and doing internet activities that may indicate that they're ready to engage? Or even further, that they're ready to purchase. These are the things and some of the charts that you might see as part of that report to help you make some business decisions. Prescriptive analytics provides the recommendations, looks at the data, answers questions, and gives you tangible examples of ways that you can go communicate to customers how maybe customers in their same industry, of their same size, are purchasing this way. Have you thought about that? Or maybe your fleet is really outdated, or maybe your fleet needs to be simplified, and here are some ideas and some recommendations. Again, these types of analytics don't have to come from Amplify. We're happy to serve them up to you as our valued partners, but you can get these types of analytics out on the market by paying for them. And beyond the data, we also think it's important that our partners are developing the capabilities that we think are key success factor. Okay, hook's coming, that we think are the key success factors to success in this new world with all of this change. So we help partners to analyze their capabilities on two big vectors. How digitally ready are you? How service ready are you? Because again, we think those are the two key success factors going forward. You pop in, you take a quick quiz, you get a report. Can I get my slide back, maybe? I've got this big times up. It's stressing me out. Mike, help. Okay, so, but you get this great report that shows you, again, how your capabilities stack up against these partners and gives you tangible ideas for improving them. All right, and this is really where I'm gonna end. This is a list of AI tools. And this is organized in a way by function. What kinds of tools are available for marketing, for sales, for operations, for service and support? These are tangible. Oh, by the way, hey, I don't know if you'll get these slides, but you will get that list, but also this really handy dandy definition of all of these things. And I will give credit to OpenAI, who created this list, created this nice glossary of definitions for me, and highlighted the ones, you can't really see it from here, that may be particularly important to a small or medium business size, that may not be, some of these are designed for developers or enterprise or things that might be out of reach. But there are many of these that you can use today. I used like 7 of them getting ready for this presentation to edit my content, to get design suggestions, to spark creativity. In fact, while I was so busy getting ready for the presentation, where's CJ? Ah, there you are, right in front. All right, I'm only telling you this as an example. The message that I sent you on Friday that I believe you called substantial, thank you for the substantial response, Tammy, was partially AI generated. Because I was so busy. I took your email, I said, answer this email. And it did it. So now you're going to have to go back and look at it.
That was one of the best emails you ever sent.
Right, exactly, because I'm usually like, yes, no, okay, bye. Very short. So it worked as an assistant. It was awesome. I will tell you that I have interfaced with this because my students are using it. This ChatGPT tool that any of you can test out. It's beta, it's on the market. If you're not playing with it, you should. But it was released in beta to the public in November. In December, when my marketing papers were due, something was up. Something was up. Never given 100% on a paper. Gave 200%. Then I found a nifty little tool that allows me to scan the page to determine the content that is AI generated versus human generated, and was shocked to see that all the papers had some amount of AI generated content. As an educator, I was like, holy shit, now what is going to happen? But as a technology lover, I was like, yeah, I can't believe how you guys have found this technology and used it. It's not for cutting and pasting, but it can make you smarter and better at what you do. And for those that I found less AI generated content, their papers were still really good and way better than the papers that I was getting before. So it was a great experience for me, and why I kind of started to dive into these. Okay, so I think actually I have this last slide, not that one, this one. I'm going to leave you on this idea. One thoughtful idea has the power to change the world. And by dinner tonight, after all these presentations, I'd really like to know what thoughtful idea changed your world today.